Okay, so it is 1:32. We're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to the Spring 2023 Virtual Fabric Show. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Stephanie Sheridan, and I'll be your host today. We have over 40 new collections since our last Virtual Fabric Show, which was in the fall of 2022, and we're excited to share some of them with you today. I just have a couple of notes before we begin. We will be taking questions from the audience at the end of each session today. So if you have a question, please feel free to put it in the Q&A portion down below. Also, please visit our website, which is www.benartex.com, to see the full collections and to find out more information about the fabrics and the projects that you see here today. And lastly, when you see something that you love, and we're sure that you will, please ask your local quilt shop to order the fabrics. They can contact their Benartex sales rep, order through one of our many distributors worldwide, or contact us directly through our website for more information on ordering. We only sell to independent quilt shops. You won't find our fabrics in any of the big box stores. So now, with Charisma here, it's time to start the show. We're going to start this session with the Botanica collection by Amanda Murphy. It is a modern interpretation of the wonders of nature, and the sophisticated monochromatic color palette will appeal to modern and traditional quilters alike. These fabrics will be in your quilt shop starting in September, so be sure to start planning your projects now. We have a short video clip of the collection, and then we'll turn it over to Amanda for her presentation. Okay, so the video is not loading. So we're just going to go right straight to Amanda. And Amanda,
I was going to get excited because I hadn't seen the video. I was like, what video?
So we'll just go straight to you, Amanda, and you should be able to share screen and go ahead and tell everyone about Botanica.
Okay, so Botanica, well, Stephanie really said it. It's kind of a modern take on a black and white collection, and I wanted it to work with a variety of other fabrics, specifically my Cotton Shop Basics line. So when I did some of the quilts, I kept it just the Botanica prints, and others I interspersed color. There are 2 new cotton shots that will come out with this collection, and they will stay in the Cotton Shot line. And that is a pure black and a pure white cotton shot. We haven't had those yet. So that gets added with this collection. So, and this collection's shipping in September. So what I'm showing you, I've been occupied by actually sewing or washing all this fabric because it just came in. So I'm going to show you just sort of what it looks like. So there's obviously a floral print, and Benartex did a really good job printing this really cleanly. So you can see those clear white lines on the dark fabric. The floral print comes in 4 colors. There's swirls, there's a medallion print, there's a text print. And Maria kindly took these photos for us. So we have them, they're much messier upstairs because of course I washed about 100 yards of fabric this week. So these are the pretty photos where they're all folded, but you can kind of get a feel for what the collection is. And I always tried when I design to appeal to both modern and traditional quilters, and then just different age groups. If I have my daughter and my mother liking a collection, I know that's kind of the place I want to be. I want to be right in between. I have to laugh this. Benartex did these mock-ups. The scale of these, you'd think the flowers are like 8 inches, but if you think of these like pin cushions, that's more the scale. So think of these as tinier pin cushions because the medallion print isn't quite that big. I want to say the medallion print is like 6 inches maybe across. So it's not quite as big as you'd think here. So it's kind of like a medium scale print. So this is the kind of one of the feature prints in or the feature quilts of the collection, Twirl. It is a foundation piece pattern. And you can see here I've chosen 4 cotton shots. There's an apple, a green, an aqua, and a spa cotton shot in this. But you could really choose any of your favorite colors and it would work great. And you guys did this digital mock-up, which looks fabulous. When I do the real thing, which is one of the things I'm working on the next few weeks, I'm going to custom quilt those white and black backgrounds, maybe with feathers. I haven't really decided, or maybe extending the lines from the various wedges or fans kind of out into that quilting area. And I haven't decided which. You guys can tell me if you have an opinion. But I'm actually doing this quilt in another collection as well that's upcoming that we aren't talking about yet. And so maybe I'll do one of each. So that was Twirl. This one is called Fiddlesticks. And do you guys remember that game where you had to like grab a stick? I was terrible at that game because I'm very impatient, and you had to make sure the pile didn't fall apart. That's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about this. And this I'm going to do with like some straight line quilting that really emphasizes the angular nature of this quilt. And this quilt in particular, I thought was exactly right for this collection. Then we have icicles. And icicles, you can really see the difference in scale of the prints. So we have some small scale prints and some large scale prints. And I'm playing with sort of optical illusion of a braid here. And you can see in the background, that's the dark and the light cotton shots, the white and the black cotton shots there. I was going crazy, stupidly, I was going crazy when I designed these things. I found this collection very inspiring because I haven't done a black and white collection before. And so I decided to do 7 quilts, which now I am ruining. But at the time, it sounded like a good idea. And this is double crossed. It is your typical 10-inch square quilt, but I had this idea of these interlocking seams. And of course, when you press them, the seams will lock. But I wanted it to look like more than your normal 10-inch square quilt. And this one will be fun to quilt too. Here we have tartan. And tartan, I basically took the collection plus some cotton shots, and I separated it into dark, medium, and light prints. And I'm creating an optical illusion where it looks like the lightest prints are crossing over the darkest prints. I actually have another version of this where I did like 3 different colors, so it gives the illusion of it crossing. So that's tartan. And then this is fat quarter fracture, and it is obviously a fat quarter friendly quilt. So basically, every set of 2 fat quarters yields 2 blocks. And I thought this was a fun quilt. One of the things I like about this collection is the quilts themselves. They really could be for men or women. Yeah, there's some flowers in some of the prints, but it's when you put it in a quilt, it's not overtly floral, right? It's like it's very graphic, and that's what I really liked about this collection. If I go down to fat quarter flow, that's another quilt. And the whole idea here is if you took a stack of fat quarters, you could go from dark to light or light to dark, or you could go from warm to cool. And if you create the box by shuffling through those fat quarters, it's very methodical how you do this. You create this flow of either color or value. And so I've had this quilt in my mind for a while, but I just now finally decided this is the right collection for it. And then that was 7 quilts, right? 1, 2, 3. But then I had to do a free pattern. So I did Town Square as a free pattern. That's Town Square, digitally mocked up by you guys in a great way. And then, yeah, that's the collection. So that's another set of prints from the collection. I think it's a really fun collection. I haven't done something like this before, so I was excited to share it. I think that's about it.
Okay, yes, I think that's it for Botanica. It is very different for you, Amanda, which I think makes it really special. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what people create with this collection, because I think there's just so many directions that both, pattern designers and home quilters can go in with this line.
Thank you. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what everyone makes.
I can't wait to see your quilts.
I can't either because I don't have much time.
So our next presenter is designer Shelley Cavanna. She is not able to be with us today, but she did send a video. She wants to welcome you to Secret Garden, a bright and vibrant floral collection. Secret Garden will start shipping to stores in November, December this year. So we're going to play the video from Shelley now.
I'm Shelley Cavanna, fabric designer, quilt pattern author, and the owner of Cora's Quilts. Today, I'm excited to share Secret Garden, my latest fabric collection with Contempo Fabrics by Benartex, shipping in fall of 2023. Secret Garden is a bright and vibrant fabric collection filled with bold florals, dazzling colors, and pleasing blossoming textures, with a color palette ranging from bold navies and bright teals to deep aubergines and vibrant magentas. Secret Garden's variety of enchanting floral prints and beautiful blenders work beautifully together in contemporary and modern quilts, cheerful home decor, and bright and colorful garments. The focal print features a whimsical array of large-scale, show-stopping blossoms. And we've paired this larger print with a softer, medium-scale floral print in shades of aqua and coral, called Garland. The bold colors in the first two prints are balanced by this smaller, delicate floral print called Sprigs. Several of the prints in this collection are fanciful florals masquerading as classic quilt designs. The Starflower print is an ode to the classic orange peel block. Leaves is a dainty mosaic-inspired blender, perfect for adding just the right amount of texture to your quilt blocks. This collection also features two blender prints, and let me tell you, it is hard to capture the vibrancy and beauty of these prints on a screen. The first blender print is called Cosmos, and it was inspired by the classic Grandmother's Flower Garden hexagon quilt. With bold colors like a berry-toned sangria, cheerful teal, and a vivid aubergine, the prints also pull some of the softer navy and grass tones from the floral prints. The final print in the collection is called Nightshade, and it's a fun twist on a hand-stitched double wedding ring motif. This design includes a beautiful range of darker navy, teal, and aubergine colors and brighter sangria and grass tones, making sure that no two colors in the collection are exactly the same. I'm excited to share that we're also offering the main Secret Garden print as a supersized 108-inch wide backing option as well. These blooms measure around 6 inches tall and are perfect for your quilt backs or for fussy cut and applique projects too. The bold, jeweled tones in this collection are some of my very favorite colors to work with, and I think you'll love the quilts we've put together to show them off. I can't wait to start my own Secret Garden sampler quilt. It's a 12-month Block of the Month project, and it features 11 different flower-inspired quilt blocks in a lovely garden box-inspired setting. One of my favorite projects to use with any jewel tone fabric collection is my Aurora quilt. It's one of my favorite mosaic-inspired projects, and it just happens to be fat quarter friendly as well. You're going to be surprised at how easy it is to put these blocks together. My family's favorite springtime activity is sunny afternoons spent at our favorite local park. Clover Valley is a picnic-perfect quilt for snoozing in the sunshine or getting lost in your favorite book. This collection is also a great way of celebrating some exciting news. Both of my books have found new homes with C&T Publishing, and these prints are a perfect fit. Flower Farm is a 40-inch quilt from my Barnstar Sampler book, and it's made even brighter with these bold Secret Garden prints. Prairie Rose is a larger quilt featuring oversized blocks in softer shades of coral and those beautiful aubergine prints. And that delicate Sprigs print makes for the perfect background fabric. Both quilt patterns can be found in my Barnstar Sampler book, and we'll share a handy quilt guide on our website to help you with the placement of the new prints. These gorgeous secret garden prints work well with the quilts from my Spectacular Stars Simplified books too. Pinwheels is a fun, playful quilt that is the perfect opportunity to show off some of those larger prints. This pattern is also specifically meant to be used with a 10-inch square pack, and you'll have enough fabric left over for a bonus block too. Crystalline, our Spectacular Stars Simplified cover girl, was originally a cozy wintry quilt, but we reimagined it as a flower-filled ode to spring using the secret garden prints. And the best thing about this quilt, just like all the other quilts in this book, it's made entirely with squares and rectangles, so there are no templates, specialty rulers, or bias edges anywhere. And finally, if you just can't get enough of these fat quarter friendly quilts, then you'll love Flora, the free pattern for this fabric collection. I know that we've shared a lot of information in this video, so if you're hoping to come back and take a closer look at any of the prints or projects, you can find them along with the collection's lookbook both on the Cora's Quilts website and on the Benartex website. We've planned loads of video tutorials to help you make these beautiful quilts, and if you're a shop looking to put together kits for any of these projects, ask for our shop guides to help you plan your programs. I hope you've loved the prints and quilts featured in my new Secret Garden fabric collection. Please ask for it at your favorite quilt shop or contact your Benartex sales rep to order today. I'm Shelley Cavanna.
So thank you, Shelley, for sending that video in for us. I'm sorry you couldn't be here with us in person. Hopefully next time you will be able to. And again, Secret Garden ships to stores in November, December of this year. So our next panelist is brand ambassador, Brianna Roberts. She is a published pattern designer and owner of So Cute and Quirky. Brianna has been sewing and quilting for over 15 years and enjoys designing bags, wallets, organizers, quilts, and home decor items. She's very busy. She's created 2 wonderful bag patterns using our Cherry Hill and a Heart-Led Life collections that she's going to share with you. First, we have a couple little video clips of those 2 collections, and then Brianna will show us her projects. Okay, so Brianna, can you tell us about your work with Benartex and being an ambassador and the projects that you created?
Sure. Welcome, everybody. And it's been a great year. I'm enjoying it very much so. I am an ambassador with Benartex. and I'm an ambassador for the 2023 year. And this year I've had an opportunity to work with several lines, all of the new lines that are coming out. So that's a really fun perk, that you get to work with these beautiful fabrics and you get to see them firsthand. And I had the opportunity to work with Cherry Hill, which was designed by Greta Lynn. And then I also had the opportunity to work with A Heart Led Life, and that was designed by Kelly Ray Roberts, both of which are fun, different lines that I really love, full of color, and just a lot, they have just different unique little designs in them that I really liked. So for these, I designed 2 different bags. I designed a crossbody bag, which is a smaller bag, and that's this one here. And this one, Sweet Marie, I used the Cherry Hill line, and it has an adjustable strap. I love the gingham on it. I thought the gingham was so sweet to use with this, and also the little cherries on it, and using the cherry blossoms with this at the very bottom of the bag. And I just thought it was fun because I love smaller prints when I'm designing a smaller bag, something you're going to take with you when you're traveling or just going out and about, and just want something small to throw things in, quick and easy, and have a zippered pocket on the outside and on the inside too. So I love smaller prints when it comes to this size and scale of a bag. And this design collection worked perfectly for it. And there's a lot of other design collections within Benatex that would work great for this bag too, and all the upcoming lines. Amanda Murphy's line too would look great with this, because they've got those nice small prints, like she was saying, for some of the fabrics within the line. And you can even fussy cut here too and add something, which would be fun if you love to do a little bit of fussy cutting. So I really enjoyed using the Cherry Hill and the different fabrics with it, and it just gives it it gives it a fun look for spring and also for summer when you're out and about traveling, vacation, or out with the girls or friends or whoever. I also designed another bag, and this one's a larger bag, and it's the Tabitha tote. And this bag, by the way, sorry about that, this bag, Sweet Marie, is out now. It's available. And the Tabitha tote will be coming out at the end of June, just before Heart Led Life comes out with Benatex fabrics. And this one here is great for fussy cutting. It is a large bag, shoulder bag, and I have an outside zip that I put on one side. And then I also have a sidewall, wrong side, sidewall pocket here as well. And there's a gusset on this one particularly. So I loved using this design here, and then on the sides, these diamonds as well. And it's nice and generous and large, so you could fill it. You can even take it for a little overnighter if you chose to as well. And it's all the colors all match so nicely with each other. And she also added, which I thought was fun too, is little print in there with just little words and stuff. And then if you also look on her panel fabric with all of the little angels and the girls, there's little sayings on those as well when you use this fabric. So you can fussy cut it really nice and add those right there on the panels, and gives it a little unique difference from other people when you make this bag here. So it works really great with lots of fabrics that Benatex has and that are coming out, and also with this line that I used here. I was inspired by this line because I really liked the images of the girls that I could use on there. And I also was inspired by just a lot of the different varied colors in here that went along with the images too. So I thought it would be just a fun, unique take on this bag. And this one comes out end of June, just before the Heart Led Life comes out. So it really inspired me to make the bag and design it, and had a lot of fun with it, and actually both of them. So I've enjoyed using these fabrics and having the opportunity to use them and, play with scale. I love to play with scale when I'm designing and deciding on if I'm going to use a large print or a small print when designing a bag. Sometimes I have in mind that I'm going to use a small print, but then when I see someone else who's made one of the bags that I've designed, they may use a larger print. It looks really cool too. So I just love seeing all the different variations that people try and use when designing bags or quilts and things like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Brianna, I know you've done a couple other projects as an ambassador this year, and one was your X tote bag. So I'd really like you to share your X bag with us.
So at the beginning of the year in January, we were tasked, or we were challenged to design a tote bag using the logo, the Benartex logo. So what I did is I did foundation paper piecing here and made a pocket. And then I also used the colors, and I'm using the linen-esque line here, really nice, very pretty, soft colored line. And I really wanted to give a modern take using those colors with this, and the nice cream in that line that I used too. And then I used the 3 colors of the green and the purple and the blue in it. And I just thought it was really pretty and just very clean lines when I designed this. And I had a lot of fun with this one as well.
Great. And do you have the froggies handy?
I do not have the froggies
Okay.
handy. My niece, who's 6 years old, has the froggies. It is a quilt. I mean, it was a sleeping bag that I designed with the froggies, and I gave it to my 6-year-old niece, and she absolutely loves it. And Frogtastic is another line that I had an opportunity to use, and that was designed by Terry Runyon. And she loves to play with little characters and almost sketch-like quality. Frogtastic is a fun fabric, great for children, great for people who are looking for just a little sketch-like thing that they want to add to quilts or bags or something like that. And the colors are blues and greens and oranges, and they pop with the little frogs all over them. It's super cute, and turtles.
So if you want to see the project that Brianna created with Frogtastic, go to her website, which is
So cute, and it's quirkybee.com.
quirkybee.com, and you can see all of the projects that she's created with Benartex fabric so far this year. Be sure to check out the sleeping bag. I think she's going to create a pattern for it. I've got my fingers crossed because it's definitely something that you guys will want to check out.
I'll be creating a pattern, and that will come out by the end of the year. So it's going to be perfect to make for a child. And here is a picture of it here. I'll show it to you right now so you can just see that. And it's perfect for a child. There's a zip on the side, and I designed a pillow for it as well, and using binding around the zipper. So you add it, and then you can zip it up, and it works great. And then also a handle.
That's great. Thanks, Brianna.
Thank you.
Our last presenter today is Brand Ambassador Charisma Horton. Charisma is coming to us from the West Coast, and she is a prolific pattern designer, a professional long arm quilter, and a magazine contributor. She's published, is it over 400 now, Charisma? Are we still under 400?
Yeah, almost 400, yeah.
Almost 400 quilt patterns, and has been featured in more than 80 publications. She has created some projects using our Serendipity and Cosmo Cats line. So we're going to play those collection videos now, and then Charisma can tell us a little bit about her projects. so Charisma, I see that you have your serendipity quilt behind you. I'm guessing you just got that finished up, didn't you? Those
Yes, I
fabrics just
did.
recently came in. So Charisma, can you tell us a little bit about the work you've done with Benartech so far this year, and your patterns with the Cosmo Cats and the Serendipity line?
Yes. So well, I kind of feel like I've been working with Benartex a little bit longer than just this year, because I think it's been a couple years really. So I email Stephanie and say, hey, I have this pattern. Can I get some fabric? So anyway, so but it's been great being an ambassador this year. And is my internet okay? Can you guys hear me? Okay,
It
good.
sounds good to me.
Okay, good. So I love that I get to see the lines ahead of time, and that I get to kind of play and do a little bit more than what I've been able to do in the years past, being an ambassador and designing specific fabrics and block of the months and that sort of thing. So when I got these lines, the one for Jessica Flick, Serendipity, I thought it would be perfect for my flower market quilt. I live in Washington State. I live nowhere near Seattle, but my family used to go, my brother lived in Seattle, and so we used to go there on vacation. And anybody that's been to Seattle, there's Pike's Place Market, and they have a big flower market there where everybody sells these big bouquets of flowers, and they're really affordable, but they're beautiful. And I sort of just thought flower market was perfect for Serendipity with all of the floral lines. It's kind of a fresh line, and you get to see a lot of the prints, but also it's a little bit more of a design because you do have some curved piecing. It's not applique. Those blocks are actually the Drunkard's Path blocks. So it's all block based and no applique. And I know that there's a lot of applique lovers, but there's also some people who don't prefer applique. And piecing those circles is a little bit easier, and then you get to see all of the freshness and the variety of fabrics, and I sort of loved that, and I think it showcases the line pretty well. I don't have Cosmo Cats. The fabric hasn't arrived yet, but I have a series of mid-century modern designs, and I thought those Cosmo Cats would be perfect for a new pattern that I wanted to launch called Mod City. I think it's in the catalog, but I don't have it here. Sorry.
It is. Let me grab my
okay.
catalog real quick because I really want to show everybody that line.
Okay, good. It's such a cute line, and the cats are so, like groovy kind of looking, and the Mod City was a perfect way to kind of showcase those cats and make a cute, either baby quilt, wall hanging, kind of lap quilt size quilt. And I just thought it was pretty fun. So yes,
this is Mod City that Charisma's talking about. And it's just a really cool, fun, fresh pattern.
Yeah.
And then this is the other one.
Oh, Oblongo, yes.
Which is one of her existing patterns that she recolored. And I think they just turned out fantastic in this collection. I can't wait to see them in fabric, because if they're that good on paper, I can only imagine how great they're going to be in fabric.
Yes, so I love the mid-century modern designs, and the Cosmo Cats was just very perfect for that. And of course, I'm an animal lover. I live in a little hobby kind of, I don't know if farm is really the right word, but between my chickens, dogs, everything else, that's just kind of up my alley. So any questions? I don't have any other quilts to show.
Do you have your tote bag handy?
I don't, sorry.
Okay. Everyone will have to go check out your website, which is
charismascorner.com.
charismascorner.com. Check out Charisma's website. She has pictures of her tote bag that she created as well. And also, Charisma, tell us a little bit about your pink barn, because I know you did. I know you created a block of the month about your pink barn, and it's because your barn is pink.
It's going to be pink. Yeah, well, the outside is going to be pink, and I'm currently doing the inside. So we moved to our little homestead about a year ago, almost a year ago. And it had a horse barn with dirt floors and horse stalls and everything. So it took us like all summer to gut it out, get cement in it, and we framed in the walls in the fall and got the windows and the doors and all of that stuff in. And then we did all the drywall and everything in December. And so we just got the painting done. We're finishing the trim and setting up furniture and rooms. And then as soon as all of that is done, which should be in the next couple of weeks, my husband will work on the outside, and it's going to be pink, which has been a bone of contention since we sort of started, because he's like, barns aren't pink. And I'm like, well, it's a quilt studio, so it can be pink. And my father-in-law was giving me hassles about it, but now they've all sort of come around to it. And so it's going to be pink. It's going to be fabulous. And in fact, I have Rob Appel here this week. That's why I'm sort of like, don't have everything all my tote bag, and I didn't think things through very well, but he's helping me set up like videos and helping me get my room like kind of set up. And we're doing some other projects together today, or this whole week. But so I'm like really excited to have a designated workspace again and have that done. And then we're going to do an open house. But I went from, you know, having 6 kids in a house, and every time one left, I would take over the house until my last house became a huge quilt studio, because I own 3 long arms. I started as a long arm quilter. And then a room full of printers for my patterns, and then a room for this and that, and you know, whatever else. So I had a quilt studio with a kitchen and a dining room and a master bedroom and a few bathrooms, to now I have a barn that will be my designated space, so I can have a home again, which is really fantastic. But just, it's been a lot of work. We work during the day. Well, my husband works during the day. I quilt and do my business during the day. And then at night, we've just been working on the barn. And so I'm going to be so excited to just get it done and be back to my normal input, work schedule, quilting, sewing, and doing all of that. So pretty excited.
That sounds great. So that concludes our presentation portion of our show today. We're going to now do a quick poll for all of you that are watching. And if you answer the question, you'll have a chance to win a fun fabric surprise from Benartex. Panelists, you guys can't participate in the poll, but I'm guessing you're all saying 21 or more projects per year, right?
Yes.
I can't imagine any of you creating less than 21 projects in a year. So while the poll is running, I'm going to have all of my panelists unmute themselves, and we're going to do a little panel discussion. I've got a few questions for you guys, just to let all of our viewers get to know you a little bit better. And the first one goes to Amanda. Amanda, do you have a favorite fabric in Botanica? Do you have a favorite print?
You know, I really like the feature prints, which is that floral you saw. And, you know, I had colored it with like black, it's black lines on white, but there's one in it that has like gray fills. And I just like how that works in a quilt. It adds a different scale, and it adds like a different texture than I've had, because there is so much contrast to it, right? Whereas the other prints don't have kind of as much contrast. So I'd have to say the feature.
Okay. And this next question is for all 3 of you. I want to know what one sewing notion in your studio you absolutely cannot live without. Brianna, what can you not live without?
That's a tough one. Oh, you know, I hate to say the seam ripper, but you need the seam ripper because there is going to be a time where you don't want to rip something out, but you are going to have to rip something out. And I actually had a friend who made a beautiful wooden one for me, who turns wood. And I'm very lucky that I have this one. I do love it a lot when I do have to use it. And of course, a little frustration, but you know, I would say, yes, that is one thing that, you know, you can't live without. You just, for me, I know there's times where I have to rip something out, and hate to say I made a mistake, but of course we all make mistakes.
Exactly. Charisma, how about you? What one sewing notion can you not live without?
It's this right here. So I will go to Walmart. This is like a really strange thing, I know, for sewers, but I'm a long arm quilter, and with sewing and everything, I never like learned how to cut my thread on my machine, like when I'm sewing on my domestic machine. But as a long arm quilter, I hate like that fear of running over my scissors with my long arm or like anything, and I need to have them all the time. So I go to Walmart and I buy these necklace things with lanyards, and I put my little sewing scissors on it, and I wear this constantly. And then it becomes like, you know how like guys have their pocket knife in their pocket? Like I have my little sewing scissors around my neck all the time. So when I need to open a package, I need to clip a thread, I have these around my neck all of the time.
I love that. And Amanda, how about you? What's your one notion you can't live without?
It would either be, it would be something ruler related for quilting. So it would either be my measuring gauge, which is actually stuck upstairs. So this is one I have that's a prototype. It's not quite the final one. It's either my measuring gauge, or it's like the bags that hold my rulers. I have a lot of different bags for brewer that hold my rulers, and most of them are upstairs right now because I was quilting. But you know, I keep all my plumes in one, I keep all my lollipops in another, and then the big one has all my basic sets. So there's the way I carry it, because I have my sit down machine's downstairs and my frame's upstairs. So it's just an easy way to carry them between the two.
That makes sense. Okay, and so one last question for all of you. Do you remember the very first quilt you ever made? How many of you remember?
Mine. I remember mine, and oh my goodness, it was the wonkiest quilt ever, because I did not want to match seams or do anything when I was making it. I wanted to finish it, and I had 3 sisters, where at the time they invited me over to a weekend, a girls' weekend. And I said, I don't sew. And I said, I do paper crafts. And they said, we'll teach you. And I said, okay. And so I made a trip around the world is what I ended up making. And it was a small wall quilt, but there you looked at it and it was a little, you know, a little wonky and kooky and stuff. But after that, I caught the bug and I just truly enjoyed it.
Great. How about you, Amanda? Do you remember the very first quilt you ever made?
I remember the first, but I'm actually going to tell you about my second quilt because it's funnier. So my daughter was about 3. I learned to quilt as an adult. I learned to sew as a kid, but I learned to quilt as an adult. So my daughter was about 3 years old, and I decided her favorite color was purple. So I decided to make her a purple quilt. I had just learned to quilt. And I went into the store, and the store manager convinced me to put in like this acid green with the purples, which, you know, from a color perspective, it does make things more interesting. So I spent all this time. It was an applique quilt. It was a lot of work. I finished it. My daughter opened it up and said, "Why is this ugly green in my quilt?" She hated it because of the green. So that taught me, like, when you sew for kids, you should literally do exactly what they say. Don't take any artistic license.
Oh, I can't imagine anyone ever saying that one of your quilts was ugly.
3, she's going to say what she thought. You know, it had ugly green in it.
Ugly green.
What was I thinking?
Oh, that's funny. And Charisma, how about you? Do you remember the very first quilt you ever made?
I don't know that I remember the very first one. I know that I started with hand stitched embroidery, and then I had to put them into a quilt, and that's really what gave me the bug. But I can't recall exactly what it was, but I know, and it might be just because, you know, my brain blocks out particularly painful things, because when I go home for Christmas, or like one of my friends shows me something that she's hung on to for the last 25 years, and I'm like, please don't show anybody that ever again. Like, give that back to me. I will replace it with something super fabulous, because that is horrid, like I don't even know what I was thinking. I don't yeah, no, like it's pretty funny, but that keeps you humble, right?
Absolutely. Well, and we're all our own worst critics, right? So you may think it's horrible, but evidently it's very well loved. So, okay, so we're going to end the panel discussion now, and I do have a few questions for you guys from our viewers, and so I'll go through those. Judy asked, Amanda, do you always wash your fabrics?
I do, because I travel with my quilts, and they get searched through by TSA, and they go, we were just at several events with Stephanie, so my quilts are traveling all the time. But you have to remember, I'm selling quilting, so I don't want them to shrink too much if I wash them. So I would rather have the shrinkage happen before. So I do wash my fabrics, but even if you don't wash your fabrics, I would recommend washing wide backs, because wide backs have much greater shrinkage rate than regular quilting fabrics. And I think a lot of people don't know that, but if you have like a 9% shrinkage rate on a wide back, but your regular fabrics are only going to shrink 1 or 2%, I think it's worth washing those, at least the wide backs, before. But I do wash all my fabrics. Yes.
Okay. The next question we have, Brianna, is the Heartled Life bag fat quarter friendly?
This bag, for the gusset and also for the interior, you would need larger pieces of fabric. For the side panels, you can use fat quarters, but the gusset, if you were to buy a fat quarter, you'd have to piece it. So you can use fat quarters for it, but you'd have to piece the gusset. All of the outside pieces are fat quarter friendly. The handles and the interior, you would need larger pieces of fabric.
Okay. And then we have a comment for you, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. I watch your videos all the time. I have a Q16 and love it. My dogs love to listen to your voice and the background. Now, if only they could learn to use your rulers. Amanda,
okay.
you need to figure out how to teach the puppies to use the rulers.
Yeah, wow. That would be something else. I'd love that.
Okay, and then another question about washing, and we answered that one. Charisma's website is charismascorner.com, and we put the link in the webinar chat. So if anybody, what was the name of Brianna's large tote? That one is
the Tabitha tote.
The Tabitha tote, and that pattern will be available in June along with the fabric line.
End of June. And if you also go, and I do sell patterns in paper, in paper for quilt stores, and then also PDF. If you go on my website, quirkybee.com, you can sign up for the newsletter, and then you'll be sent information for when the Tabitha comes out in June. It'll be coming out towards the end of June, just before when the fabric comes to stores.
Okay. And to close out our final session, we have a few words from our National Sales Manager, Jeremy Jeffries. Stay tuned. After this video, we'll announce our fabric giveaway winner.
Well, that's our show, everybody. I hope you enjoyed Benetex's 2023. We're glad you could join us. We had those 17 beautiful new print lines and 50 handmade boutiques. We've got some additional 108s, taking us over 300 different 108s in stock at the moment. You saw some great fabrics from Kelly Ray Roberts. This is the official fabric actually for the Sisters Oregon quilt hanging. And what's nice is Benetex reprints, so both of these collections will be available at the same time, and they'll work together. Same goes for Shelley Cavanna, who you saw some presentations from. We have a book full of projects, but the #1 book out there, which should be back in the stores about now, is Barnstar Quilts. So that uses these two fabrics, which is Alpine Valley and Blossom Hollow. Those fabrics are from Benetex, and they're in stock now. And then her new collection you just saw is Secret Garden. One of my favorites, and Jackie Robinson is also one of your favorites as a designer, is the new geraniums line. So Jackie's new geraniums line will be shipping in the summer. And following on from that, we have Sunshine Days by one of the designers who's done many groups with us since the pandemic began. Nice, bright, happy colors. That's what we all need right now. And staying with that sort of theme, tractors and barnyards and animals always succeed. So look at the wonderful projects, and kids respond to primary colors. And we're politically correct. You know why? Because we've got all the different colored tractors, whether they're red, green, blue, orange, you know the brands. We've got a wonderful little group here. This is Wildflower. And this group here is all based around bumblebees and butterflies, as you would expect, in very popular colors. So Wildflower Honey, that'll be coming out again towards the middle and end of the summer. And Simply Blessed, now this group here, Simply Blessed, this is by Martha Pullen. And this group is wonderful if you've got one of those embroidery machines. You can embroider this, you can personalize it for grandkids and kids alike. And then another one of my personal favorites, don't know if you got to see this one yet, this is the flamingos. We've got a book full of projects, including little purse patterns and things. And believe me, flamingos are not just for Florida, they are for all over the country. Another group which you may not have seen yet is our cherries line. Think about accessories. You can do barbecue aprons, make things for 4-H and some of the fairs. Big departure for one of our designers is Amanda Murphy. She's actually gone monotone with these two-tone quilts here, black and white and white on white. So this group, Botanica, will be coming out later this year. And this one just makes me smile. Cosmo Cats by Terry Runyon. Isn't this just fun? And cats always sell, even more so than dogs on fabric, at least. And talking of cats, you know the cat lady, Catitude, Anne Lauer. This is a beautiful line, a little bit larger scale, very, very vivid colors, be great for embroidering and thread painting. So those are some of our highlights. We've got plenty of others, as you probably saw from our wonderful designers who did some of their presentations. One designer that we didn't mention yet is Nancy Halverson. Nancy Halverson has been with us over 20 years. Her newest collection is Wanda Lane and Wanda Lane 2, with basics to go with. Her project started shipping at the end of last year. These are the first 6 patterns. You can run this as a block of the month. You can do a 30 by 30, but every one of these patterns has got 6 additional little projects that you can gift and use around your house. The newest patterns just started shipping to the retail stores, and these are actually books. So each one of the books has 6 or 7 different patterns in there, including the 30 by 30. So that's the Nancy Halverson Wanda Lane, and the new basic that goes with it, Whisper Weave 2. So that's our line, that's our show. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to look for our fabrics. You can only find them in independent fabric shops and quilt shops, independent machine dealers, regardless of the brand, and our favorite online stores. We never sell to Walmart, we never sell to Hobby Lobby, we never sell to Joann's, and we never sell to Michael's. Support your independent stores. They're a community center for our hobby as sewers and makers. So thanks for looking at the Benetex lines. Hope you found lots of things that you'd like to buy. So go hit up your independent stores right now and ask them for the new Benetex fabrics.
All right, thanks, Jeremy. So now I would like to, first off, thank all of you for coming to our virtual fabric show. We hope that you have enjoyed seeing the fabrics and hearing about them directly from the designers. Be sure to ask at your local quilt shops to place an order for the things that you saw on the show today. And we can't wait to see what you all create. In the next few weeks, we will introduce more of our upcoming collections on the Virtual Fabric Show website. So stay tuned and follow us on social media to always be in the know. Our social media links can be found on our website, as well as the websites for our ambassadors and our designers that you met here today. And when you're on social media, please tag us and the designers in your posts. We love to see what you're creating, and we love to share it with our followers as well. Finally, I'd like to announce our last winner. Our winner is Jean Valerio. I hope I said your last name right. Jean will be reaching out to you via email to get your email or your mailing address. And once again, thanks everyone for coming. Thank you, Amanda, Charisma, and Brianna for being with us here today. I hope you all had a great time a reminder that the recordings will be available shortly. We are currently uploading them as we speak so that we can get you the recordings of the sessions. And as always, thank you for your support and your love of Benertex fabrics. Have a great day.